Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fight Me Bro betting show. This week, we're breaking down to you the bets we like the most for UFC Fight Night Wonderboy versus Jeff Neal, which is actually, for the second week in a row, a fucking fire card. Last week delivered in spades. Unfortunately, my picks weren't the best, but Nick was just lighting it up. He can't miss right now.
Cannot miss. We're going in. This is the last betting show for a while, like a month almost.
I know.
So we plan on closing the year pretty strong.
Oh, fuck. Why did you just remind me of that? Fuck. Last week, I literally bet every single fight. And that's not, you bet all night? No, I bet every last fight that was on that card. Somehow made it away even, which for you bettors out there, no, that's a tough feat. And by you just saying this is the last fight.
Feat, but a W.
Yeah. And you saying this is the last fight for like 3 weeks tells me, I need to bet all the fights.
I think it's 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Then I'll probably be betting probably every single bet, even though Rick Glenn is this. I'm like, fuck, Rick Glenn is starting this thing out. Like, there's a lot of fights on. There's like 14 fights on this card, I think.
Yeah, it is. Well,
starting early too.
I think it's like 12 because a bunch got canceled.
True.
There's been a lot of COVID. There's a lot of COVID going around. The Thanksgiving surge, and now we're going into the Christmas surge. So, all you fucking people can't just stay away from your families for 2 weeks. So,
I love how it's like, oh yeah, don't see your fucking families.
It's your fault we're losing fights on these cards, not ours.
Blame the families. Like not enough people are blaming the families for COVID.
I should be blaming your younger siblings.
Yeah,
and your grandma.
Mm-hmm. Well, that being said, hopefully the bets that we have don't get canceled because one, I already had to take off the board. Bilal Muhammad at minus 400 was stealing money. Like I know that's a heavy favorite, but
yeah, well, I was like, what? I mean, I don't think you could say stealing at anything under minus or over minus 300. Minus 400 is not stealing. It's pretty clear this guy's gonna win.
I've stole from Valentina Shevchenko at like minus 1,000 before, and that was still stealing.
There's exceptions to every rule, but I don't think Bilal Muhammad's one of them. As much as I like Bilal, but
we'll see when they actually do fight. But right now I have 5 bets. Nick has 4. I'm probably gonna end up betting all these fucking fights. So let's hope I make it out positive. But I'll get us started. First fight, it's coming in Sijara Eubanks versus Pani Kianzad. Like I mentioned before, this is a fuck Sijara Eubanks podcast. She is the worst. Everything that comes out of her mouth is diarrhea. So I have to bet Kianzad plus 140. When I see this Sijara Eubanks, I am playing the markets here. It's the S&P 500. It just goes up. I know Sijara Eubanks will leave the UFC with a losing record, probably on a pretty bad losing streak. So I'm just gonna play the straight and narrow, keep betting against her every time. Plus 140.
That's my first pick too. I literally have it down for under my notes. Sijara Eubanks is on the card. I go the other way. No questions asked. This is exactly what I have written down here.
Reasoning, principles.
Yeah.
If you don't got principles, what do you have?
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I think that's how that goes. So and I think Pani Kianzad, I got to be honest. Hang on.
I don't really know anything about it.
Now that we're on here, let me do a little research. Because I didn't do any research for this fight, knowing full well that I was just going to bet the other way.
It would have to be, she'd have to be so fucking bad for me to be like, you know what? I am taking Sijara.
Last W was against Beth Kohea. Did beat Jessica. Okay, she beat Jessica Rose Clark. That's good enough for me.
Good enough. All right.
And that justifies it. And she's get this. She's Iranian born Swede.
Interesting.
Lost to Julia Avila. Lost to Macy Chiasson, another person we don't really like.
Avila's good though. I think Avila's good.
She's beat Jessica Rose Clark twice. Beat Ioni Razafiarzan.
Whatever. You already good enough for me. For me to get the W. Don't let me second guess anymore. We're both taking Pani Kianzad plus 140. Moving on to my next pick.
Record in the UFC. That's good enough for me.
Good enough for me. But again, like I said, bet in the long haul. Sijara Eubanks will leave the UFC on a 3-fight losing streak. Hopefully, this is the fight that sends her out because that would be awesome. Maybe she's one of the 60 that Dana White has been teasing. But next pick in Marcin Tybura versus Greg Hardy fight. like you had said just before recording, this fight is going to be absolutely hilarious. But I'm taking Tybura at plus 105 because I kind of have been on a Greg Hardy betting streak lately, and I'm looking to break away from that. Greg Hardy, what was his last fight against? Was it Jorgen De Castro? I think.
Or no, he had another one in between that. I think
he did. I'm trying to think. It was against someone else that wasn't that good.
Oh,
Maurice,
your boy, the crochet boss.
That's right. I did take him and he knocked him out. I think I took him by TKO as well. So I called that one correctly. There's a big jump. Not that Marcin Tybura is amazing by any means, but there's a big jump from Maurice Green to Tybura. In my opinion.
Is it?
Maurice Green is a nobody. Like Tybura has at least been in the UFC for a little bit, lost some to some pretty good people.
But statement loss against Alexander Volkov.
True, but he beat Brett. He come off a big win against Ben Rothwell. So it shows that even as a smaller kind of like not really powerful heavyweight, he can go with some of these guys that have some serious power and some serious size. I just think he has more to bring to the table. He's a more complete fighter. This is like, granted, what is Alexander Volkov ranked that they just gave against Greg Hardy?
I don't know.
But for me, this just seems like they gave him the test with Volkov. Greg Hardy didn't pass, and now they're trying it again, and I think he's probably not going to pass again. I also like the over in this. I saw it. It's like
that I like
170, I think, minus 170 over 1.5 rounds. I think people have this idea of Greg Hardy as this knockout artist, and he starches everyone. It's been quite a while since we've seen that Greg Hardy. I almost said Dan Hardy. Wow.
It also has been a while since we've seen that Dan Hardy.
Exactly. But yeah, so I'm putting that on my card as well. Almost forgot to write that down, but I did remember. Minus 170 over 1.5 rounds.
Yeah, I don't hate that. The over is the move here. And it's not on my card, but that's the move here because the reason is in these hilarious fights, unless I have a real good lean, like I just can't that or I get drunk. Like I can't bet on them because if you bet the wrong way on this one, it doesn't matter who you bet on. If it's going the other way, it's going to be so hilarious that it's going to be infuriating.
Yes.
Like if you bet, like you've got Tybura, and if it's like, if he tries to get a takedown and Hardy just little boys him off of him, you're going to just instantly be so aggravated with yourself thinking, why did I ever think that this fat sack of shit was going to be able to take down former second round draft pick Greg Hardy or whatever the hell he is. Alternatively, if you take Greg Hardy thinking he's going to little boy this guy, and then he just gets fat guy taken down, just like body lock, fall on him. Mm-hmm. Oh no, turtle on his back, can't get up. You're going to be thinking to yourself, why did I ever think that Greg Hardy was going to be able to stop somebody with any decent? They're just too infuriating to bet on. So it just, I steered quite clear of this one. Mm-hmm. I did not steer clear of, I forgot to write down who she's even fighting. Jillian Robertson versus Talia Santos. I'm going to take Jillian Robertson at minus 115, even though I know I normally bet against Jillian Robertson. That said, Talia Santos, like, I feel like that's a name that just sounds like she should be better, but she's not. And though she's only lost once, but like Jillian Roberts has beaten Courtney Casey. She's beaten Sarah Froda, and she's beaten Poliana Botello, which those girls are basically Talia Santos.
True.
Like,
very true.
They just want to stand up and like kind of power punchers. Every
Jillian
time
Robertson
you get on the mic,
she fights ugly. And it makes you think she's like bad at fighting, but she's not that bad. And
her stand-up's pretty salty.
What's up?
Stand-up is not great.
Yeah, it's all ugly. But when it's put all together in the division that she's in, she makes an average fighter. And I think a fighter like Talia Santos is one, like you said, like someone that's supposed to stun on someone. I don't
even know about stun on people, but it's just her game is exactly like those. Like, what does Talia Santos do that those other three names that I just named don't? Like, I don't know what she does like that. Now, I'm sure all the fucking striking hardos that can knit and tuck every aspect of foot positioning and all this shit could come up with a laundry list of things that she does different. But on the whole, like, let's call a spade a spade. Talia Santos is probably going to try to box Jillian Roberts' face off, and Jillian Roberts, as is the case with every Jillian Roberts fight, is going to just be diving for takedowns, hoping to not get kneed in the face, and then just do the sit on their back and grapple thing. I looked at the over-under, very high price to pay for this fight, so I'd sat out on that. But yeah, at 115, like, I've seen it before. Like, I've seen the product. She is able to beat people like this. So if she gets a takedown or two, I think we're good. So unless Talia Santos comes in massively improved, or unless Jillian Roberts just stops improving, period, I don't see. She's taken this test and passed before. So at minus 115, I'm gonna take that.
All right. This is similar to the Tybura Greg Hardy bet, where it could be a potential pull your hair out bet, where you're just like, oh, she is getting absolutely worked on the feet. Why did I bet her? But yeah, I don't hate that pick. My next one is coming in the co-main, Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vera. I feel like you gotta go Aldo in this one, minus 150. I think everyone after the Max Holloway fight, the first one even, just thought like that was it for Jose Aldo. And then once he lost the second time, including you.
Including me. And I was proven
after the
very
second
wrong.
one too. And then he kind of, when you look back on it, his losses to Max Holloway, it wasn't that it's like, man, Jose Aldo was shot. Just Max Holloway has the exact style to beat him. And then him going down to 135, he arguably won that Moraes fight. And like, he was doing really well against Peter Yan. Like, I guess I haven't seen the deterioration from Jose Aldo yet that make me think.
He just doesn't have cardio, which isn't really new.
Exactly. It's like
the biggest difference is that he just doesn't throw kicks anymore. Well, I mean, and he was in the Peter Yan fight, and then he got really tired and stopped.
Exactly. And so that's probably why he doesn't throw him anymore. But in a 3-round fight where Chito Vera is a little bit of a builder, someone that Chito Vera is, although he hurts people, I feel like the goal is like to build over time and win a decision. Like that's
or put him away in the third.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's also building for very similar to a Peter Yan, where it's like he kind of builds and like puts people away. But I don't think Chito Vera is going to be able to do that in 3 rounds. I think if he does, and which, here's the thing, I'm hedging my bet. So I'm doing 2 units on Jose Aldo at minus 150, 1 unit on Vera by TKO at plus 530.
Because Vera by decision, though.
I didn't look, because I think Aldo's gonna win a decision, so I'm not betting that. But I just see the way I see it going. I think Aldo comes out there really hard, takes round 1, round 2. Hopefully, he's keeping the pressure up. I think round 3 easily goes. It's just I already know how it's gonna go. Jose Aldo's gonna gas, and round 3 is gonna be a wash. Probably gonna win a decision 29-28, unless he gets knocked out. So that's why I'm hedging it. I don't know. It just seems like the way Jose Aldo has looked in his last 3 or 4 fights in those first 2 or 3 rounds, it just seems like the 3rd round is his kryptonite. And so I'm hoping he's just able to like survive like that at that point. And really, it's not like he's going down to anything. It's not like he's just lost his chin. Like, these TKOs have been kind of ugly. Like, they've had to be ugly to put Jose Aldo away. And I don't know. I just don't see that from Marlon Vera. Like, who knows? Maybe Jose Aldo chin, this is the match that he does go, and Vera just fucking puts him away. And then I lose all the units. But I'm going 2 on Aldo, 1 by the TKO. Plus 530. I feel like a 3rd round TKO might be the winner.
Yeah, I stayed clear. I have no idea what to do with that fight. I can't make heads or tails of it. That's a pure entertainment, entertainment only.
It'll be a fucking banger, man. Like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That should be the main event. Actually, I don't know why it's not.
Yeah.
Because it has just as much title implication, if not more, than the main event with Wonderboy and Jeff Neal.
Dude, they're throwing Jeff Neal a bone for making him work at Texas Roadhouse is what it is.
That's probably it. Although Jeff Neal has not fought in a year.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. Yeah, I don't know. That one's gonna be fun though. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. That one, you can't really break it down like skill for skill. It's very hard to break it down skill for skill. And Jose Aldo hasn't deteriorated enough where you're looking at this like, I mean, minus 150. That almost seems like stealing betting on Jose Aldo. So that I would say
that's what's
looks
scary.
Like stealing. Yeah.
Yeah. Which this is all going to boil down. I feel like we know what we're going to get with these guys the first couple, and it's all going to boil down to the third. And it's like one if.
Why? No, I think you got 1 and 3 have very clear winners, and then how quickly does Jose Aldo get tired in the second round?
True.
Is it before the halfway point or after? And
Which is
like that's your winner.
Exactly. Is he able to bank the round and then just cruise? Which that is where my scared meter. Well, actually not scared meter. That's where my my betting meter. If it's early, if it's mid round 2 and Aldo won the round and he's letting off the gas, then I love the round 3 knockout by Marlon Vera. Like that's just just seems almost inevitable. If he thinks like, oh, I got 2 rounds, I can just coast to a decision, he's getting knocked out. Like that's just what's gonna happen. So, hopefully I'm able to thread the needle and get a big payday here.
Yeah. Okay. Then my last one pre-lock is going to be in Marlon Moraes and Rob Font. This I do feel like is stealing. Taking Marlon Moraes at -150 makes me a little nervous. But like, why is this line on this so close? Like, is it because Marlon Moraes looked really shitty in his last fight? Or was it his last one? What was the one that I think?
Well, he just got demolished by Sandhagen. That's why.
Yes. Okay. So it was that.
Like
that's what I thought.
Sandhagen is
like,
no slouch.
Right? Huh?
And like Sandhagen is no slouch, but people are just seeing the KO and being like, "Oh fuck, he must be like washed."
Yeah, and then so then he got beat by Triple C, who's like, and regardless of which way you think that Aldo fight went, okay, it is what it is. But like, are we forgetting that this dude KO'd Sterling, beat John Dodson, KO'd Jimmy Rivera, and submitted Rafael Assunção,
and was beating the fuck out of Henry Cejudo until he got tired. It's like it wasn't like, oh, it was a one-sided fight. He was demolishing the champ, the champ, and then
and like right. And so now in comes Rob Font, who like this dude has fought twice in the last 3 years, and he beat Ricky Simone by a unanimous decision a year ago, and then he beat Sergio Pettis. And then his other
win up too. Like that's not even Sergio's like
correct. And then he lost to Assunção, which is like, okay, whatever, no shame in that. But then he beat Thomas Almeida, who like Thomas Almeida hasn't been good in years.
No.
Then he lost to Pedro Munoz, who also no slouch, no shame in that. But like Rob Font hasn't exactly been putting away elite competition. Like this guy, and Rob Font is also one of those guys. I know that he TKO'd Thomas Almeida, but like, and he does have, now that I'm looking at it, it was probably about to sound kind of stupid. I was going to say he's not like a knockout artist, but he does have 7 KO wins on the record. But like, Rob Font doesn't strike me as a guy that's hitting with lead in his hands.
No.
Like, Marlon Moraes is a guy that hits pretty fucking hard for about 7 minutes of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And
Moraes, I want to say, probably has like some of the heaviest hands in the division. It's just how long can you keep that up? Like the dude is,
and this is a 3-rounder. So like, I don't think Rob Font's gonna put him away. And so this is a very Jose Aldo-esque situation where it's like, dude, Moraes just survived for 2 rounds. Exactly. And I don't think, unless he gets so goddamn tired that he just gives up one of these cheesy, like inside trip takedowns or something, and then Rob Font just chokes him out, which I just don't see that happening.
No.
So -150, like you just go with the elite caliber guy here. That's exactly.
The best. Don't overthink this one. It's a rat line. It stinks out loud. It's like, wait. I was expecting this to be -250. Like it just seems like where these guys are in like
200 for sure.
Yeah, like where these guys are in their career, and one guy just coming off of like having a title, or no, like fighting for the title. Was Moraes ever the title? He was just interim, right?
No,
not even interim.
No, I don't think he was even interim.
Oh, because it was a vacant title shot because of Dillashaw. That's right.
Yeah.
But a guy that's like fighting for the title 2 fights ago, a guy that likes fighting the top of the competition versus Rob Font, which is like, there's a reason why a whole lot of Rob Font fights don't necessarily come to mind, because he hasn't been the most relevant, like you said, especially in the past 2 years. So don't hate that bet.
Dude, the guy, like one of these guys is fighting top 5 guys every single outing. The other one, his best win is Ricky Simone. That should tell you all you need to know. No offense, Ricky Simone. I actually love watching Ricky Simone fight, but like Ricky Simone, not Jose Aldo.
He lost to a 45-year-old.
Got knocked out by a 45-year-old Uriah Faber. Like that's like losing to Uriah Faber. Hey, no shame in the game, but I mean,
You
When's the
can't.
last time Uriah Faber knocked someone out?
Yeah, you can't. We get really in the deep on
He
the
actually
MMA
was the
math here.
California kid.
There's MMA math here to be done, and it's just like I know you can't rely on MMA math, but whatever the score is, it's like it's way off. There's like the what Maurice has been doing in the past couple of years, and who he's been winning and who he's been losing to, and then you look at Rob Font, who he's been winning and losing to. It's like, wait, something's not adding up here, and because of that, you hammer Marlon Maurice. But my last pick before my lock is coming in the main event. It's Wonderboy versus Jeff Neal. I'm going Wonderboy at even money here. I felt like this is another line. I'm like, how's Jeff Neal the slight favorite? Like Jeff Neal has been very solid and has had a good record and has been moving up the rankings and generally good dude. I love the dude. Fortis MMA is doing some awesome shit. But like none of those wins are anywhere near the name of Wonderboy. Like anywhere close.
Mike Perry?
But yeah, right.
Trying to say that Mike Perry is an elite win.
They have the same level of stand-up fighting, Mike Perry and Wonderboy. If you showed me a silhouette of Wonderboy, I wouldn't be able to tell if it's Mike Perry or
Mike Perry or not.
But yeah, it's just like, and I know that doesn't always mean the case. Like Kevin Holland had never fought anyone at the caliber of Jacare, and look what he did. He starched him. But like looking at the matchup, it's like Jeff Neal has been he's been good against a lot of people. He was just better at them on the feet with. And Wonderboy, it's very hard to beat Wonderboy in a stand-up striking match. And I kind of feel like that's just how it's going to play out with this. And so unless there's been some major drop-offs in Wonderboy's performance, which he as well has not fought for a year. So that makes me scared because Jeff Neal hasn't fought for a year, but he's at the point of his career where he takes a year off and you're like, oh shit, he's been able to take a jump in that year, where Wonderboy's typically at the age a whole year off at 37 is like, you might be surprised how he looks when he comes back.
How slow.
Yes. And with Wonderboy's technique, the speed definitely means a lot, but Wonderboy is just so technical. And I think he's so good at game planning over 5-round fights. I think he's going to be, especially with a fight that's going to predominantly take place on the feet. Like he's not dealing with a guy that's going to try to take him down, make it ugly on the ground. I think he's going to be able to figure it out. So I love him at plus 100.
Yeah, no, that's my lock of the week.
Yeah, I figured.
I just don't until he got knocked out by Pettis. Doesn't look great. Okay. The Darren Till fight, that was really a nothing burger of a fight. I mean, we learned literally nothing about Wonderboy. Yeah. We learned literally nothing about Till.
Except that Till has serious knockdown power, and rightfully so. He's a fucking 185-pounder fighting at 170. Like that's
I mean, we also learned like those front leg kicks can be bothersome, I guess, if Jeff Neal wants to take something away. But in turn, there wasn't an outclassing by any stretch. And then Wonderboy ate some shots from Vicente Luque. So I'm not necessarily, and Vicente Luque is a guy that can put people out. So I'm not necessarily convinced that Wonderboy's chin is gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guys that have dropped Wonderboy got knocked out by Pettis, dropped by Till, who dropped, if Till can put Bobby Knuckles on his ass, he can put Wonderboy on his ass.
Yeah.
And Tyron Woodley, who, like, for as shit as he's looked lately, if Tyron Woodley hits you with the nuclear right hand, you're going down. Like, those are the facts, even though he hasn't hit someone with that since the last solar eclipse.
He's been only dropped by people that, like, when they hit you, they drop you. And Jeff Neal is not one of those people that, like, he hits hard, but he's not one of those people. It's like, oh, no one could take a Jeff Neal punch. And you kind of need to be that because against Wonderboy, you don't have a lot of opening. So, like, when you land on him, you have to have the power to drop him down. And, like, Luque has a ton of power, and he didn't have the ability to do it.
And again,
kind of unreal power to fucking drop his ass.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to. And so it's not like defensively he can't eat a shot, and then offensively, like, at what point of the Luque fight did Wonderboy look off? Like, he didn't. Yeah. He was styling on him. Yeah. Like, it just, until you show me a fight where somebody that's gonna get, like you were saying, give him a predominantly stand-up fight. I mean, Woodley didn't engage. Mm-hmm. Till didn't. Now, who knows? Maybe Jeff Neal's like, no, I'm going to camp on this right hand, and that's all I'm going to wait to do. All right, we could be in for a shitty main event. That's fine. But I'll take my chances riding with that as opposed to somebody that's like, okay, you know what? I trust my stand-up. I'm going to Vicente Luque it and go out and like, hey, we're going to see who the better kickboxer is. And it's like, If you're gonna give me those odds, Wonderboy has shown me nothing that he cannot contest with that. Like, I don't think that he's slowed down that much.
And like, I'm not even trying to shit on him with like him working another job. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But like him having a main event spot while being someone that's like, I need another job. Like, this is to him his opportunity to be like, I gotta go out there and make something on this fight. So he's gonna come at Wonderboy, and that doesn't always work the best for people. You know,
it
like
never works the best for people.
It never works.
Historically, I don't think it ever has.
No.
Even in the Pettis fight, like Pettis was getting his fucking ass kicked before he landed that punch.
He was just playing possum so well that he timed that punch. And Pettis does have some power that he was able to just get him with one fucking shot. Like, everyone that's had success has been like, okay, let me just time up this shot. But anyone that's like, no, I'm gonna go in there, have like an ugly brawl with him. It's like, Wonderboy, you think you can get an ugly brawl with him, but you can't. Like, you either, if you're gonna go in at him, go at him. Like, you got to be trying to wrestle him. Or like, he's very
or he's gonna make you look dumb.
Yeah. And so I love that pick. The only reason it's not my lock is because my lock was what you said before, Marlon Moraes. How is that not your lock? You were even saying like, this line doesn't make sense. Like,
neither of them do. I might double lock it this week.
I know. I was thinking about that because like I was back and forth between which one I wanted my lock, because Marlon Moraes, that's fucking like, just look at I know you can't base everything on resumes, but just look at the resumes. And
I'm a big resume. I trust in the resume too much.
Yeah. Sometimes for better though. Sometimes you look at the resume and you're like, those guys are in a different class of fighter than those guys. And Rob Font still loses to some of those guys that aren't in the same bracket. And Moraes, the losses that he does have are against like the most respectable of fighters, and almost in the most respectable ways. Like, I know Sandhagen was, you know, I wouldn't say it was a total ass kicking. It was just Sandhagen was able to figure out Moraes eventually, but like,
it was kind of an ass kicking.
In second round, it was. Yeah, for sure. I thought that was going to take place a little bit later in the fight. I had Sandhagen. But like, Moraes doesn't just go out there, especially in the first round, especially in a three round fight. Cause I think the Sandhagen fight was meant for 5.
It was a main event. Yeah.
So you're going to get a complete different Moraes in 3 rounds. Like, he knows his limitations is his gas tank. And I think this is the gimme that they're giving to Moraes, because they've given him since his very first fight was against Rafael Sunsao, I think.
Yeah.
In the UFC, which is crazy. I think they gave him a Sunsao. They gave him Aljamain. They gave him Sunsao again, I think.
Yeah.
They gave him
Sunsao again.
John Dotson, who's tough. They've given him just a ton of really, really tough guys. Henry Cejudo. And it's just, I think they're like, you know what? We'll give you a breather because we want you at the top still, and we need a W. And there's just, if you look through 1 through 5 at 135, there's only killers. Like, all the fights that would make sense for Marlon Moraes right now, I can't guarantee a win with Marlon Moraes. And so they're like, you know what? We're just going to give you a guy that's just not even in that league. All right. We'll just give you, because like, really, it doesn't even, this fight doesn't even make sense. Like,
I don't even know why they booked it.
Because it's not like Rob Font is like, yes, he
surging.
Yeah, exactly. It's like some guy at Rob Font's level, but like, Rob Font's been in the UFC for a long time, hasn't fought a whole lot. And Marlon Moraes has been in the top 5 for like the last year and a half now. So I don't really get it unless they're basically just giving you a big old softball. The line does make me scared, because it's like, what does Vegas know? Because they should have been the one to be like, okay, yeah, this is a gimme.
Does Moraes have COVID? Like, what's the deal here? What's the jig?
Yeah.
I don't know, but those two at the top, they kind of, well, I guess that's not the co-main, but yeah, those 2 fights though.
Oh, it's not even. It's like
it's like they're Jose Aldo and Cheeto's the co-main. So it's like,
but it's not even the third. I think they have fucking Greg Hardy above them too.
Pro women's rights. That's the UFC. They I don't know. Those 2 don't make sense. So I think I'm curious what the little Parlito on the 2 of them pays out. That's also something that everyone should look into adding to their card, because like, those are 2 that, I know this is gambling, and it's just, I'm going to sound like an idiot if they both lose, but those are 2 that you could just put together in the parlay. And then when Marlon Moraes goes out there and nukes fucking Rob Font in 2 minutes, and then you see in the first round, because the Wonderboy fight, I think also, for the most part, unless he gets, well, I said this about the Pettis fight, but then he got knocked out, but I think you'll be able to figure it out in the first 10 minutes. If it's like, oh, Jeff Neal doesn't know what to do, like, and you'll just know. And so I think if you bet the parlay and you're looking at these 2, if you didn't take it, you're gonna be like, why did I think that anything else was going to happen? Like, obviously these guys are going to win.
And it's crazy at the odds that you're getting it at too, with plus like even money and minus 120. With this a 2-person parlay, you can actually make get a decent return on that against two guys that, hey, I have no problem betting against. Like, if regardless of the other fighter, you told me, hey, you have to bet on Wonderboy and Marlon Moraes. I'm just like, cool,
sure,
like, perfect. Yeah, I don't even need to know who the other people are. And then now knowing the other people
could be Jake Paul.
Yeah, it could be Jake Paul. Actually, I don't know, man. I read the funniest thing. So I posted a video of like Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm like, how long would he last with Jake Paul? And someone said, he's like, what did the guy say? It's so fucking funny. Hold on, this is very bad.
Is it as funny as Tony Ferguson saying he's been inventing short chokes?
That is laugh out loud funny. That I would love to just see. I want to see the application of him just like loop choking someone with his shorts.
That's what I'm saying. Wow. I need to know what chokes he was practicing.
Is he talking about the strings?
How is that even possible? Like, I don't even understand. I was trying to think of the logistics of it. And I'm like, dude, I don't think you could choke someone with gi pants. Like, if you had gi pants,
yeah,
let alone just like kickboxing
maybe
shorts.
He means maybe like covering their face with it and doing like the Wagner Ho show, like
the rape choke.
Yeah, do like the rape choke with the material and like suffocate him.
I literally don't know. But and then also, like, that's just so classic Tony Ferguson, where it's like, hey man, okay, you kind of got exposed in the Gaethje fight. This fight, I mean, you clearly holes in the bottom jiu-jitsu get now. And did you end up watching the Instagram video? Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So like where he's talking about like, oh, I was baiting him. I'm just waiting. And it's like, yeah, dude, that's fine in a no time limit jiu-jitsu match, but there's rounds. Like, you need to win in order to win the fight.
Yeah, when he's talking about like IBJJF rules and stuff, where he's just like, no, if you see he's not advancing position, so I don't even know if I'd give him points there if this is IBJ. You're like, man, you're in mount, man.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I'm just like it blew my mind. And so I'm sitting there like watching this, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, you know what? Like, you clearly just got dominated positionally grappling. You got pieced up by by Justin Gaethje, and like, let's be honest, in a couple of years now, yeah, I mean, he carved up Cowboy, but like, you know, first round of that fight was relatively close. Like, he's even
and
before
the
Gaethje
Cowboy
fight
was surging then. Cowboy now, that win doesn't hold up as much. Seeing kind of
no. But I'm just saying, like, Tony Ferguson right around Darsing Edson Barbosa was like, he was untouchable with the combination of, but like, even with some of his wins lately, you did see where it's like, someone might be able to expose this, but obviously everyone's still intrigued by the Khabib matchup because it's like, okay, he's scrambly on the ground. But now you see the Charles Oliveira fight, and Charles Oliveira's like, no, I'm just not going to scramble. It's like, I'm just going to statically hold you for 15 minutes, which is totally fine. No qualms against that. But my point is, Tony Ferguson, his takeaways from all those fights wasn't, you know what, I should slip, rip, boxing. How do I set up these Imanari rolls that Eddie Bravo was talking about? No. His focus in training camp was, how do I get the drawstrings from my pants to just cut the circulation off of somebody's head? And it's just like, it blows my mind that he just is openly admitting that, yep, this is what I'm working on in camp.
I would just love 1 hour inside of his brain. 1 hour just thinking like he thinks, seeing what colors he sees. There's no way he sees the same spectrum as we see. Yeah, no, I laugh out loud funny if you haven't seen like Tony Ferguson's. I think it's from his Instagram live yesterday.
Yeah.
Or Wednesday. Laugh out loud funny. But speaking of laugh, this is the clip. This is the line I had. So I put, how long would Jake Paul last against Sugar Ray Leonard? And this guy goes, Sugar Ray would have to be perfect in every exchange. Jake Paul would only have to be perfect once. like Jake Paul. He's just waiting there for his one shot to knock out Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, oh, if he just waits and he's patient enough, it's Sugar Ray Leonard that's actually in trouble. So that guy, Dara Kelly, you get my favorite tweet of the fucking week. That was laugh out loud funny.
God,
but those are our picks for today. We got quite a bit, and I think we've been overall. We were just talking. I think ever since COVID hit, we're up. Which, like, if you take any sort of time span, we're down. Like, if you
significantly down.
Yeah,
like there might be like a month where it's like, ooh, hot month, but then typically speaking, the following month,
yes,
way in the negative.
any 3-month projections that you have for us, we're
quarterly down.
Yeah, quarters. I haven't, but in the last like 2 or 3 quarters, I think they've all been green, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless maybe we're just getting the hang of this shit. So all our picks are here. You can fucking track them, and the proof is in the pudding. So let's hope that our shit keeps it up this week because it's the last opportunity for us to. God damn it, that makes me even more scared. This is the last card of 2020, so it's like, all right, this is what you're gonna leave on as your fucking stamp of how well you did in gambling, and that for me in recent history has proven nothing but misery. But I'm going against that. Our picks this week are gonna be fire. I feel it. They've been fire lately. So you can tell us, tweet us along, tell us if you think they're fire. You can find us at Below the Belt MMA on Twitter. You can find me at Broliva on Twitter and Nick at _ a guy in a gi. Until next year, peace out, guys. But do tune into our podcast. It comes out every week. We actually have 2. One, Fight Me Bro radio show and Unofficial Ranking. So until those shows, peace out, y'all.